After such a tough week, what's better than to come back with more Gintama? And as we left off, a rather heart-touching moment between an old man trapped in the prison system and a formerly corrupt warden. A beautiful relationship, really. But I did see something in the preview for this episode, something which confused me, because I'm pretty sure it's a hard reference for something. My limited knowledge fails me. But what are you doing waiting around here? Get yourself a drink, and let's begin. Something doesn't seem right. Just the guy who... Nope, I'm not going to crack a smile at all. I have a feeling, is that, what, not breaking character? I wonder if Shinpachi and the others wished that they could just deny the script every now and again. I really do enjoy this intro. It's just so energetic. And then this interlude in the middle. Let's not forget. And it's been actually, several episodes now recently where the intro has been slightly altered. Granted, this one was right at the beginning and the previous episode was at the end. So previous episode is the one where the ghost was involved. Right, okay, this is a crossover, I get it now. That's why the title. What's wrong with number 26? Sket Dance. I've definitely heard the title of Sket Dance, I don't know what it is. What, it's like meeting celebrities. I wonder if they're doing better than Gintama. An actual crossover rather than just, as Shinpachi said, parodies. Well, okay. So it's the high school version of Gintama. Is it your time slot? So they're taking over from Gintama in many, many ways. Perfect show to have a crossover. You're perfectly fine about it, aren't you? Do you think anyone else is going to want to do a crossover if they're so accusatory so early on? Do they have to do a crossover and with a trio? Use the computer. Shinpachi is too normal. Too Unremarkable. Huh. The, never underestimate the laziness of an artist. Hmm. Doesn't that main one there have goggles? Well, anything with Gintama is going to suffer. They're really trying to sell this episode to us, aren't they? It only took 5 minutes. Well, immediately setting off with what kind of character he is. And we'll see who the better team of odd job merchants are. What was that voice? I know he's talking through the computer, I'm talking about the voice actor. I'm sure Gintama has destroyed their characters for them, they don't need any help with that. I wonder what that voice is. So is he talking through a computer because he's mute, or just because it's easier and he can? Oh no, he's back into his... The way that Shinpachi can pull out the most authoritarian he can be. Oh, why are you pulling out extra characters? What? Was he told about this crossover or just brought up? I hope Gintoki has left the room. Wait, she was Jum Jum shit tossing of Shinpachi. Shin-chan's 2-day-old underwear, Shinpachi's life, 1/3. Oh no, Bells and Finale, and Isaac's 9, 1/3 true love, 2/3 hangout, anxiety, betrayal, does my name or does it really listen to calls? Squid, dogfish, halibut, trout, cod, dogfish. This is a different dogfish. I'm talking about the shark, dogfish, angler ray, Ute, cure, ready diarrhea. It's only been, what, a few weeks and I've already forgotten. Shame. They have pulled much more underhanded tricks. I'm sure there's enough room for both of them. Gintoki seems a lot more eager for battle in this crossover than usual. Yep. You should get along, help each other out. You're both on the chopping block first. Oh, nice. Sket Dance. I actually used to have one of those wristbands in high school. Granted, it was just black instead of any designs on it, but still. Interesting landscape design. They really didn't put in much effort to stay within the lines when colouring. We all have this feeling, Shinpachi. Even in this moment, Gintoki couldn't exactly muster up the excitement to not look completely dead behind the eyes. It's an entirely unique idea they had. I need as much of that fruit as possible. I think doing too much moving around and exercise while having to carry that computer around could be detrimental. I'd be surprised if it gets through this and not smashed. Okay. That's actually relatively tame for Gintama standards. You're destroying their image with this crossover, and if they do it back and the characters invade Sket Dance, really, that's your complaint there. Okay. The characters are really gonna have to tone it down if they go invade their show. I mean, I'm sure someone would take them. Both are effective. What does that mean? Huh? But also, in usual standards, everything will return to normal after a single episode. Mm-hmm. You're in a dangerous, dangerous world. It's not your life you have to fear for. Making some more kind of meta jokes about theme tunes and the bands behind it. This world does strange things. Really? Is that an actual character trait that he has in his show? He does have a special attack, though, doesn't he? It's like that fire attack ripple thing. Bunkai. So they're mentioning other shows like Bleach or JoJo or Dragon Ball. But was that dropped as well? How vast is the biomes in this place? You don't have to try. Ah, they're pulling each other back. That's what was that whiplash before. Are we going to finish this with no actual dialogue except just complaining? I mean, sometimes not having a vast, world-changing goal is more relatable. Maybe that's for the best. Well, it would also explain a lot. How far did they actually manage to travel? Like, 8 meters? No, they're done. Time to go home, pack it up. Is there going to is there going to be any moment of actual conflict in this episode? He has his priorities. All's well that ends well. Not a monologue. Ah, so if they succeed, their team succeed. And they are best of friends after this. Sometimes it is just that easy. They're going to form their own team with Blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the hookers. And Blackjack. And the team. I This might be one of the occasions where it's best to just ignore them. They'll be doing their own thing soon enough. They're just walking in place. That's quite a skill, actually, without a treadmill or anything. All of the cast so far seem as though they've had some sort of head injury. What an odd place for it to grow. That friendship really didn't last long, did it? You know, other than instead of just holding each other back so they can't reach for the fruit, put them a bit forward. He has grand plans. What? What? We're getting a human story out of nowhere. It seems as though he needs the fruit more than anyone else. And that's why they are... How much screaming do you want to do? They are the leaders of odd job teams. Oh, it looks like, yep. Successfully puts him back on his perch. Another job well done. He has some pizzazz. Might be a... would that be better coming from anyone other than Shinpachi? Is there a winner in this story? I think the best we can hope for is that we come out without negatively impacting both shows. Ho 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 ho. They're too far gone. We'll just have to wait for the next crossover. Ah, they got a little... yeah. Dong. Don't just flop it out in front of everyone. That sort of thing can get you arrested. No thanks. I'm fine. It might be a while before I reach back into Gintama. I don't think he does a good Gintoki. And Shinpachi has never looked that good. So, do you think this crossover helped ratings? I'm not actually surprised there. The character choices. Takatin. Well, Takachin. Yugam Yugam. If you thought Karakuro would be that character and whatnot, you thought wrong. I think Gintoki looks kind of good. This footage isn't real. That is what it looks like in his head. Ah, nice hammer. Is that sexual harassment? Might need some context. You know, if I wasn't interested to watch Sket Dance before, well, I didn't actually know of it before, but still, maybe this episode and crossover has changed that. Or maybe it has cemented the idea of why that would be a bad idea. I'm not sure being compared to Gintama is really good for your image. But at least Gintama didn't really stray far from its roots of create its own problem and solve it in the strangest, most absurd, most roundabout way, and then come out with a few deformities. I wonder why no other show has really taken up the opportunity to do a crossover with Gintama. Why wouldn't completely degrading your main characters be beneficial? I will say though, the brief kind of moments we heard of the, I'm guessing, Sket Dance audio, I liked it. And out of all of the characters in Gintama to be cast as, Yugam is, well, not the worst. Not sure what she's complaining about, as long as she doesn't have to reenact some of his traits. Luckily, Hasegawa has already done that joke for them. Now, I have seen some pretty dire crossover episodes in the past where basically it's just, here's some characters. Look, see, this show exists, and does absolutely nothing to expand on that. However, in Gintama settings, that's entirely expected. So it works. Luckily for the Sket Dance crew, this may be one of the only times we get to see them in Gintama, so they've escaped lightly. Unfortunately for us, this week's not finished. We've got a few more episodes to go. So, you may want to check if there are any biological changes. Stay away from suspicious looking fruit. And let's watch the next episode of Gintama. Should the time come that I'm searching for some magical fruit that can mould some appendages, I may need to rely on your help. However, if you want to stay as far away from that as possible, you can also just check out my Patreon. Because good people like Sal, Raywin, Electric Ant, Arthea, Shiwan, Mecha, Jennifer Rojas, Stinsfire, Big Boy, Matt, Rasmus Paulson, Girly, Dynamite 1997, ASD, Dark Shadow 7899, and everyone else can support me without having to get their hands dirty, or trousers resized.